remember anything from here, Sonic?
How could I forget? It was one of the craziest days I've ever had. The day my speed was finally matched.
If it isn't Sonic.
And of course it's Eggman, why not? Well, what do you know? It's the Metal Me again.
This new model is special. It's faster, stronger, and smarter than the previous version.
Well, I gotta give it to you. He looks pretty cool. It's kind of a shame I have to trash it. Let's just get this over with. Besides, I'm gonna win anyway.
Wow, that hedgehog's fast. And so cool. I wonder who he is.
Trouble keeps you running faster. Save the planet from disaster. Spinning through a world in motion. Take it all away.
Sonic, Eggman surprised me and then
Eggman stole the Master Emerald right under Knuckles' nose. Again!
So take me back in time to another world where we feel alive. We don't have to worry when you're by my side.
Go ahead and start out the episode then.
Alright.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Geeky Gentlemen. I am Sid Part 2. Joining me today is Rasco's Modern Life, and this is a very interesting episode of Geeky Gentlemen because I decided, fuck it, it's a Sonic fan film that we're reviewing, so you get some Sonic Let's Play footage of a game that has yet to be determined. So enjoy that. Hopefully I don't suck too bad. If it's Sonic 2 you're seeing on screen, I'm gonna suck real bad. Second thing to say before we announce the fan film is you can download episodes of Geeky Gentlemen and listen on the go, though this is an episode that you might want to actually watch on YouTube since there's a Let's Play portion. You can download episodes of Geeky Gentlemen and listen on the go. The links are in the description. New episodes are posted with the videos on YouTube, and so you can listen to the audio, download it on your phone, mobile device, whatever you want to do. And then the third thing is, if you want to listen to older episodes of Geeky Gentlemen, please leave comments on those episodes, and I will upload them to the podcast hosting site so you can download them. And it's a very complicated process. So, don't worry about it. I will take that sacrifice for you. Rasco! I ask because you probably are not going to have the answer. What fan film are we reviewing today?
I think that it's called Sonic Prologue.
Yes, you're correct. Congratulations. So yes, I was very nervous picking this because I only watched about 30 seconds of it when I initially made my choice. And the reason I was nervous is the Sonic fan base is a very diverse community. It has some truly jaw-dropping, amazing quality fan work that is often better than the stuff that is actually being produced by Sega and Sonic Team. It also has some just awful fan work. Like, there's a Twitter account you can follow called Bad Sonic Fan Art. And so, it's a very, very mixed bag with what you get in the Sonic fan community. So, Rasco, before we get into the fan film itself, though, a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rank your enjoyment or love for Sonic?
I think I like Sonic as a character more than I like the Sonic games.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna go with like a 7.
Yeah, okay.
A 6 or a 7. I really like Sonic. All growing up through elementary school and stuff like that, I drew Sonic so fucking much. Like, I can draw Sonic like the fucking back of my hand now. That was one of my favorite things to draw as a kid.
And now I find that the bad Sonic fan art Twitter is just all of Rasco's old pictures.
No, see, I was really good at drawing Sonic. I just like him. But I'd say, like, I like Sonic more than I like Sonic as a character more than Mario, but I like the Mario games more than Sonic, probably.
Yeah, and it's just because they've been consistently better quality. That's totally understandable. Yeah. I'd agree with that. I like the character much more than I do the games themselves.
Yeah.
So I do like some of the games plenty. And so, yeah, I'm probably right with you. I'd say a 7 or maybe a 7.5 out of 10, as far as me being a fan of Sonic. So we're both around the same area here. So, Rasco, one more question before we get to the fan film. I'm going to build as much anticipation out of this as I can. What was the first Sonic game you played?
First Sonic game I ever played was... this is kind of random, because, like, I went back and played earlier Sonic games than this one. But, like, for some reason, when I was really young, I remember there was a GameCube at my grandmother's house from when, like, my uncle had lived there before. And, like, I just randomly played it, and it had Sonic Adventure... Sonic Battle Adventure 2 or whatever?
Okay, that's a pretty popular one, actually. Mine was Sonic 2. I was never good at it, but that was the first Sonic game I played. So this fan film being a prequel to Sonic 2 kind of pushed all my nostalgia buttons. And so, yeah, I'm kind of sort of in love with parts of this, and then have very isolated, specific problems with other things that I don't think can be fixed. I know they could be fixed. So, Rasco, what do you think of the fan film, though?
I thought that this was, like, surprisingly well animated overall, and I thought the voice acting was also pretty good. So
really? Okay.
Oh, so are you gonna say that it's not? Like
it's mixed.
Okay. Well, actually, you're probably right. I just like Sonic. Okay, that's what I'm solidified in my liking of Sonic's voice.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe you'll hate it, but at least I thought it was. I don't know. I listened to it and I was like, okay. I was expecting it to just sound like some random guy, but I was like, okay, that at least sounds like a Sonic-y voice. You get a pass.
Okay.
I guess overall it's just kind of like a thing where I feel like it's kind of structured weirdly with the whole like Tails flashback stuff, because like it sets that up as kind of like a framing device, then ignores it for like half, and then starts doing the flashbacks for the second half. It's really weird.
Gotcha. Okay, for me, what I really like about this is I think the story's pretty well done overall. I agree it could be, cut a little bit differently to make that work just a bit better. But it's not a huge problem. It's not, like, distracting. I at no point don't realize if we're in the past or the future, with considering how close, classic Tales and modern Tales look. Could have been a major problem. So no, I agree it could be re-edited, but I don't think it's a huge issue. The voice acting is really mixed for me. I like modern Sonic's voice, but he doesn't say much. I don't like modern Tails' voice, and he says, quite a bit more. I don't like classic Tails' voice. Or no, I do like classic Tails' voice. I don't like modern or classic Sonic's voice. God damn, this is really hard to track. I don't like classic Sonic's. I do like modern Sonic's. I don't like modern Tails. I do like classic Tails. I think the classic Tail voice, it sounds like a kid, and that's perfect. I think the classic Sonic is just so, like... rude. It's not the best quality audio. Maybe it really does feel out of place for me. I watched this 2.5 times, and I feel like classic Sonic's voice just doesn't fit. It doesn't seem like it's coming out of the character's mouth.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where I'm at on this. I love things about it. It pushes a lot of nostalgia buttons for me, but I have very specific problems with it, and we'll get into those. But why don't you take us somewhere? Perhaps back in time.
I guess because we talked about a fan film. It was the week before last week, the Dalek that time forgot.
Mm-hmm.
And that was another animated fan film. Have we done any other animated fan films?
No, I just happened to pick 2 in a row.
Okay, so this was, like, when I heard that it was animated and when I saw, like, the thumbnail, well, okay, when I first heard it was animated, I was like, oh, God. I saw the thumbnail and I was like, okay, that doesn't look horrible. And I watched it, I was like, okay, that's actually pretty... It's, for the most part, it's pretty well animated. There are a few times when it looks a little too stiff, maybe, and...
Yeah, I noticed probably some more specific things than you did, but
yeah,
like for fan work, considering that, this was probably all done on one computer, that's pretty damn good.
And like, I liked, but the only thing about it is that like the textures, some of the times when like you'd be like really close to Sonic's foot, the texture of the ground was like too pixely.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was probably the only issue, and like this honestly looked like almost as good as like Jimmy Neutron did from like Nickelodeon.
I'd say it looks better.
It might look better, yeah. I mean, like it's pretty comparable.
Yeah. And that just gets to the point I've raised over and over again, is the technology's getting so good and so easy to use that it doesn't take much expertise to be able to pull off something that looks, if not Hollywood-worthy, certainly television-worthy.
Yeah.
And yeah, the animation, I think, is pretty solid overall. There are, like, some specific things, particularly with the blend shapes of expressions on characters' faces, that I found problematic. Like, you'll notice it a couple times when, like, classic Sonic squints. His eyelids kind of do this weird thing, and they look kind of molded. You see some of the same stuff with Dr. Robotnik. Just here and there, I think there are little inconsistencies like that bother me. That, you could have just polished the blend shape a little bit more, maybe.
Why don't you polish the blend shape?
It's fuck blend shaping, man. Seriously, fuck the fuck out of blend shaping. You have no idea. Fuck blend shaping with like a long rusty pipe. That shit is ridiculous, and there needs to be an easier way to do facial expressions, but the fact is there's not. For like detailed facial expressions, there's not, so you really gotta put a lot of goddamn time into your blend shaping, and it's fucking bullshit, and that's just what it is. I can't do anything about it, and the person that animated this knows blend shaping 100 times better than I do, but it doesn't change the fact that I can still recognize problems with it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if it wasn't blend shaping, that's fucking amazing, but you can see why they use blend shaping. Like, that's a really weird point, but if they didn't use blend shapes on this, wow. But you really should have used blend shapes. Blend shaping is because I'm using the term over and over again. Blend shaping is like, you'll start out with a character's head. For facial expressions, you can do this for other things, but it's mostly facial expressions. You'll start out with a character's head, and then for every facial expression you want them to make, you have to copy and paste the head, or work with it, remold it a little bit here and there, move the vertices around to create the new expression that you want, and tell the system to transition between these facial expressions. So blood shaping's a fucking nightmare. Because for any scene, you have, like, at least 25 character heads. And that's some old bullshit. But it's what you gotta do. So I find little errors like that in the blend shaping, particularly with Classic Sonic more so than any of the other characters. But there are some moments when we're on close-ups of Dr. Robotnik that you can kind of see it around the glasses and the eyebrows too.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah. But the animation, once again, for a fan work where it's probably just one guy on his computer, that's damn good. What you were talking about when it's like really close up on stuff, yeah, that's a problem. Some of the plant life is just really, really flat, and so I'm pretty sure he was using paint effects, or maybe converted paint effects. I'm not sure or something akin to it if he wasn't using Maya. So some of the modeling, I mean, it's not, like, bad by any stretch of the imagination. It's just, yeah, it's kind of like, it looks kind of like you're in a, video game from the mid to late 2000s.
Yeah, pretty much.
I really like the lighting, but I think it was a little bit too oversaturated at points.
Okay.
Because that sunset, twilight lighting looked pretty damn nice, but it's just a lot of orange and yellows on the screen all at once.
Too much orange and yellow!
Yeah. I don't know, do you have anything else you wanted to say about the animation? Because that was one thing I wanted to make sure I talked about.
Let me think. Not really. I mean, that was pretty much all I had to say about it. I don't know. I'm not an animation expert.
Neither am I. Don't let me fool ya. Yeah, I liked it. The night stuff. It looked a lot better when I watched it on my computer as opposed to my television.
Okay.
And that's a common mistake. You always have to make sure to watch these things like coloring and final renders on multiple devices before you give it away or put it out there. To make sure that you get a consistently good quality of color and lighting and everything going from, screen to screen.
Mm-hmm.
But, once again, common mistake, not that big a deal. It looks fine on a computer screen, which is probably where most people are watching it anyway.
Probably.
Yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and get into the story then. I like the Metal Sonic fight. It's a really cool fight. It does not make any damn sense if this is a prequel to Sonic 2. And what's weird is they try to make it make sense, and it just makes it worse.
Oh, okay. Explain.
Okay, so, like, one of the final, like, on the final level of Sonic 2, or second to final level, or whatever, before the Death Egg robot fight, but after you climb onto the Flying Fortress, you have to fight Mecha Sonic. And Mecha Sonic is like, it just looks like a robot suit got put on Sonic. It doesn't look as sleek and stuff as Metal Sonic, right? So, and this is, okay, so you have to fight Mecha Sonic, and he clearly looks like, Robotnik tried to make Metal Sonic, and he just wasn't good enough, and then you fight Mecha Sonic V2 in Sonic & Knuckles, or Sonic 3. You fight Mecha Sonic V2, and it clearly looks like another step toward Metal Sonic, but he's just not there yet. And then in Sonic CD, you fight Metal Sonic. To put Metal Sonic, and then use that, like, section where Robotnik is analyzing the fight footage, to use Metal Sonic as some kind of predecessor to Mecha Sonic or Silver Sonic is really weird. And it's not just like I'm taking that. If you actually watch that scene, you'll see like a green pixelated computer simulation on Robotnik's computer.
Yeah.
And they've like greened over the sprite of Mecha Sonic from the damn game.
Okay.
So it's very clearly trying to say that Mecha Sonic is somehow an upgrade from Metal Sonic.
Oh.
And that's a really weird way to look at that. And it also ruins a fan theory that I quite like, so I'm not gonna... I will not accept this as headcanon. So yeah, like that whole thing was kind of a problem. Not a huge problem, because they don't really hammer it in, but they hammer it in enough that I'm like, okay, that's gonna lose you a point. Or like half a point, maybe, in the final score for me, because that was just such a specifically odd way to try to contrive a fight between Metal Sonic and Sonic. And really, you shouldn't have to contrive it in that way, because Metal Sonic was introduced in a game where there is time travel.
Oh.
So...
Oh.
Yeah, bum bum ba. Yeah. So that bothered me. Otherwise, I quite liked the story. I thought it was, I really liked the way it was set up at the beginning with Sonic being all like, yeah, the day my speed was finally matched, and I saw the trailers. I'm like, oh, okay, so this is going to be like a Metal Sonic thing. And it fools you into thinking that, but the day my speed was finally matched is in reference to Tails, and I really, really like that.
Mm-hmm.
That was really, that was really sweet. How about you?
I would agree. I think that the only thing I don't quite see the necessity for are some of those scenes with past Tails.
Mm.
You're just kind of like, I'm gonna run after you because you're cool.
Oh, you didn't like that scene?
It was cool. But I mean, I don't know. I just don't know.
I really like the line that Tails has, even though it's a little bit hard to swallow at first, because that's how a kid thinks about Sonic when they first see him, more or less. It's like, oh my god, he's so cool. He has spiky hair.
Yeah, I don't know, it was that in particular. I was like, this is a really arbitrary thing to be like, whoa, and he doesn't even have hair. Sonic has like quills.
I don't care, man. Sonic was cool. That was like the epitome of 90s cool. He had a mohawk. And it was blue. And yeah, so like I can't really fault them, because that's how I reacted to Sonic when I was a kid. It's a cheesy fucking line. I don't care. It's a cool fucking line. No, but I really, really like the chase scene, and I think that's like the best part of the entire fan film.
From an animation perspective, I would agree.
But you don't think so from a story perspective?
Yeah.
Why not?
And again, this is a case where, like, with this one in particular, since I was not familiar where this would fit in canon-wise, I have a lot less to say about this from a story perspective than from a technical perspective, but I'd say that it's just a matter of I don't see like the necessity to even be doing the flashbacks.
Well, I mean, the whole story is the flashbacks, right? It's just,
well, yeah, but like that's why I'm saying, like, from a structural perspective, why make it flashbacks?
That's fair. I think it's just the idea of it's just Sonic and Tails, or more Tails rather, reminiscing about how he and Sonic first met. So it's like there isn't even really a story for the first in the present, as it were. There's just a like moment of these two sitting down and reflecting. So I mean, yeah, it wouldn't need to be a flashback, but I don't see any inherent problems from doing it that way.
Yeah, and that's fair. This weird thing that is with me is where, like, whenever there's clearly, like, a decision made from, like, a story perspective by whoever the writer is, I always, like, go back into my head, and I have to do this with, like, everything, and I'm like, okay, why did they do that? Like, I always just question that, and oftentimes there's not really like because of this, but I'd always like there to be. So like that always irritates me, but it's not necessarily an issue with this.
Well, I mean, I could maybe see, it's a problem because they clearly intended to have a sequel, but they didn't manage it.
Yeah.
There is there's a trailer for like the proposed sequel that was they were trying to get funding on Indiegogo, but it didn't meet its goal, so it's not going to happen. And so and the sequel looked like it was going to be a prequel to Sonic 3. Which makes perfect sense to do if this is a prequel to Sonic 2. Or has a prequel to Sonic 2 in it. So they could have been planning to continue the, modern storyline as just like a through line to connect the two more solidly. They just never got that opportunity, I guess. And I don't know how much that lets you up on it or not.
Yeah, again, like I said, it's more so just like a thing that I honestly don't have like a well-reasoned argument for why it bothers me as much as it's just like a thing, like I said, where it's just like a kind of a personal thing where I just like I want there to always be like a very like interesting reason why something was specifically done a certain way.
That's fair. And the reason could have been that they were planning to continue it to connect the two stories together better.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not like a huge issue, and it's also not like a story-dense fan film, which a lot of fan films aren't very story-dense. So, I guess, like I don't know. It's by no means like horrible or anything. I think if this was like a Sonic animated series, like it would be just fine. I think, honestly.
Yeah, and like I would say that this is a little more story dense than some fan films, because we've talked about this. A lot of fan films are just like collections of like cool ideas, but not really telling much of a story.
Yeah, or it'll be like just a scene. Like
And
that Alien fan film we watched was kind of just like a scene.
Yeah, and this like has a story to it. This connects, and I thought that was really cool to see. And to speak specifically about the chase scene, I really like that because it's Sonic testing this kid. Like at first he's surprised this kid is kind of even keeping up with him. And then he's like testing him, like trying to go faster to see if he's going to be able to keep up with him. And then for anyone that's ever played Sonic 2, of course Tails can't keep up with him. But it's the heart of it, right?
Yeah.
That's what got me about it. Is that scene is incredibly emotionally impactful. Using the damn song from Sonic R, which is the first Sonic game I ever got anywhere near good at.
Sonic R.
Yeah.
Rated M for mature.
God, no. No, like, the Sonic R kind of hit, like, it's so damn packed full of nostalgia, and it is capitalizing on that, but not in a way that feels cheap. It's capitalizing on my nostalgia, and it knows it's doing that. But I feel the nostalgia from the creators here, too, in a way that I might not necessarily from someone who's just trying to cash in on nostalgia, if that makes sense. I can feel the creators' nostalgia here.
Yeah, okay. I think you'd have to be pretty nostalgic for Sonic to even, like, put in the work to make this, because I imagine it's incredibly time-consuming. So, I mean, like, that's...
Yeah, and there's, like, another Sonic fan film that was, like, live action and CG mixed together, that was called just Sonic the Hedgehog, if I'm not mistaken. It was by Blue Core Studios, and they used a lot of cameos from people on Channel Awesome. So, like, that, it had moments where I felt some kind of love and real admiration for the property, but not on the same level that I did here. Like, this ends with the end credit scene says, Sonic Team, thank you for Sonic. And that is, like, that really got to me. So I do feel some genuine emotion, some absolute love in this.
You gonna cry about it?
Maybe, you know, like I'm not gonna lie, the first time I watched that chase scene, teared up a little bit. Maybe, like felt my heartstrings pulled a little bit, not gonna lie. Which that didn't hold for me because I did not like the singer's voice. Like I really liked that they even rewrote the lyrics to that song. The only thing they kept is "Take Me Back in Time," more or less. They rewrote the lyrics to that song, and they're much better lyrics. But man, I really don't like that actress, that singer's voice. It's doing like this whole auto-tune thing, and it just seems really monotone in the parts where it's not auto-tuned.
This is really random, but I really like the song at the beginning of whatever the fuck that Sonic game that I was talking about earlier is. It's Sonic Adventure Battle?
Sonic Adventure 2 Battle.
Okay, it's a terrible title, but
yeah.
but
Well,
I like
it was just called Sonic Adventure 2, and then they ported it to the Game Boy and added the word battle because they added some new features to it.
I just like the song at the beginning of that game when you're like surfing down the streets.
Live and learn. Yep.
It's like rolling around at the speed.
Oh, that's a different song. Okay.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well,
yeah, Sonic's
whatever
always
that song
had
is.
great music. Sonic has
song.
always had great music, so there's nothing you can like. It's very rare to find Sonic, like a Sonic game that doesn't have at least listenable music if you're into that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the soundtrack for this, once again, like, besides the singer's voice, I really like the soundtrack for this. And you
I would
guys
agree.
you guys are hearing it throughout this episode, so I hope you enjoy. Yeah, the soundtrack for this is pretty good. I love what the guy does with Stardust Speedway. Wait, no. Damn it, what's it called? I love the song in the Metal Sonic fight. That's a really cool remix of that song, and it's like it's changed up enough that it really works for me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I like a lot about this fan film, and I do have nitpicky things or things that bother me. Funny enough, there's a German dub of this on YouTube, and I didn't watch the whole thing because I don't speak German, but I like just clicked around in it because I was curious. And the German voice actor is a better classic Sonic than the classic Sonic. What's really funny though is the guy that's voicing classic Sonic is also the guy that voiced, modern Knuckles.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I really like his modern Knuckles voice. I just do not like his classic Sonic at all.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And it has, this has some funny moments. I like when Metal Sonic kicks Sonic and then he like plays the victory music. That was pretty funny. It's a bit fourth wall breaky, but that's fine. I guess like I heard someone or I saw someone left a comment that was like, he should have gone Super Sonic in the battle with Metal Sonic because that power-up moment feels really weird since he's just normal blue Sonic at that point.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like when he turns the table and wins the fight. I think it was supposed to be that he's invincible. Because if you, like, look behind... Like, they're playing the invincibility tune. They're playing the invincibility tune, and you can, like, see stars, like, kind of going behind him when you see him dashing.
Yeah, you're right.
So I think he was supposed to be invincible, but... Yeah, that's all I got for this one. I'm
I don't really have too much to say about it either.
Yeah, I really liked it though. It's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but it's definitely not bad or like hard to watch at all.
Yeah, I would agree.
Okay, let's go ahead and do ratings then. I think I'm gonna give this a 3.75 out of 5. I really want to give it a 4, but I just can't. 3.75 out of 5. Oddly casted classic Sonic voices.
I'm gonna give it 3.5 out of 5. Sexy shoe buckles.
Okay. I don't know. That's a much better score than you were expecting to give.
Yeah, for sure. I was expecting this to be like a 1 on the scale.
Yeah.
But it wasn't, so you win!
Yay! What do I win?
$1 million provided by Ian.
But wait, huh? What?
Get it to yourself.
God damn it. How much? But then it would already be mine.
Yes, that's the point.
Fuck you, Rasco.
You can hold yourself accountable if you don't receive the money. Start kicking your own ass. Where's my fucking money, Ian?
Okay. What are we gonna talk about next time, Rasco?
Oh shit, I forgot already. Well, hold on one second. We were talking about Terminator Resistance, a fan film.
Okay, cool. That should be exciting. Everyone, thank you very much for watching. Until next time, I'm the Philosopher.
And I'm the Squampus.
And we are your Geeky Gentlemen. And we will be discussing things.